When was the last time you admitted you were wrong? If you're like most people, it's not something you do often. Acknowledging mistakes can feel unnatural, like it's triggering internal alarms. Logically, we know that admitting fault is part of learning and personal growth. But emotionally, it can feel risky, even threatening. In this video, we'll explore why saying, "I was wrong," is so hard. We'll break down the psychology behind it, examine what holds us back, and discuss the powerful ways admitting mistakes can transform your relationships and your life. Reason number one, fear of judgment. Admitting a mistake often feels like exposing yourself to criticism or disappointment. You might think, what will people think of me? Or will they see me as unreliable or weak? But here's the truth. People respect honesty. They admire those who take responsibility and are brave enough to admit their faults. In most cases, owning up to your mistakes strengthens your credibility. It shows others that you value accountability over appearances. Reason number two, threat to self-esteem. Mistakes can sting, especially when they challenge how we see ourselves. If your self-worth is tied to always being right, admitting fault can feel like a personal failure. But avoiding accountability weakens your confidence over time. True self-esteem comes from being able to admit flaws, learn from them, and grow stronger. By embracing your mistakes, you're not just showing humility, you're reinforcing your resilience. Reason number three, attachment to identity. We all have a mental image of who we are: fair, logical, responsible, or kind. Admitting a mistake can feel like a threat to that identity. For example, if you pride yourself on being patient and you lose your temper, it's not just a slip-up, it feels like a betrayal of who you are. But here's the thing. Mistakes don't erase your positive qualities. They add complexity and depth to your identity, making it more realistic and well-rounded. Reason number four, need for control. Being right gives a sense of control over situations and relationships. Admitting you're wrong can feel like surrendering that control. But clinging to control by denying mistakes often leads to more chaos. True control comes from recognizing where you went wrong, learning from it, and adapting. When you let go of the fear of being wrong, you gain a greater sense of freedom and stability. Reason number five, cognitive dissonance. When your actions don't align with your beliefs, it creates mental tension. Admitting a mistake forces you to face that discomfort. It's easier to rationalize or ignore the issue, but this avoidance only deepens the conflict. When you acknowledge your mistake, you can realign your actions with your values, creating a more authentic and satisfying sense of self. Reason number six, emotional investment. When we've poured time, effort, or emotion into something, admitting we're wrong feels like losing it all. It's hard to let go of a belief or decision you've worked so hard to defend. But holding on to the wrong path only wastes more energy. Acknowledging a mistake allows you to redirect your efforts towards something more meaningful. Reason number seven, fear of vulnerability. Admitting you're wrong requires vulnerability. You're essentially saying, "I'm not perfect and I don't have all the answers." But vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's a strength. It builds trust and deeper connections with others because it shows authenticity. The ability to say, "I messed up," humanizes you and makes your relationship stronger. Reason number eight, social pressure. Sometimes admitting a mistake feels harder when others are watching. The pressure to maintain an image of confidence or authority can keep you from speaking up. But true leadership isn't about being flawless, it's about being accountable. When you admit your mistakes in front of others, you set an example of humility and growth. Reason number nine, perfectionism. Perfectionism creates an unrealistic expectation that you should never make mistakes. When you do, admitting it feels like failing to live up to your own standards. But perfection isn't achievable, and chasing it only leads to burnout and frustration. When you embrace your imperfections, you free yourself to focus on progress instead of unattainable ideals. Reason number 10, fear of consequences. Sometimes, admitting a mistake feels risky because of potential consequences. You might worry about losing someone's trust, facing disciplinary action, or damaging a relationship. But avoiding responsibility often makes the consequences worse in the long run. When you own up to your mistake, you have the chance to repair the situation and rebuild trust. Reason number 11, lack of practice. For many of us, admitting fault isn't something we've practiced often. It's a skill that requires self-awareness and courage. And like any skill, it improves with repetition. Start small, acknowledge minor mistakes, and notice how it feels. With time, admitting fault becomes less intimidating and more empowering. Reason number 12, fear of losing influence. In certain situations, admitting you're wrong can feel like giving up authority or influence. You might think, will people still respect me if I admit this mistake? But leaders who own up to their faults are often seen as more trustworthy and relatable. By admitting your mistakes, you show that you prioritize truth and accountability over ego. Recognizing the value of admitting you're wrong. Admitting your mistakes isn't just about fixing the past. It's about building a better future. When you let go of denial, you open the door to growth, connection, and self-improvement. Here's what you gain: stronger relationships. People respect and trust those who are honest and accountable. Personal growth. Mistakes become valuable lessons instead of sources of shame. Freedom from perfectionism. You can focus on progress instead of unrealistic expectations. Authenticity. You create a life that aligns with your values and priorities. Admitting you were wrong isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It takes courage to own up to your mistakes, but the rewards are worth it. So, the next time you face the choice, remember this: mistakes don't define you. How you handle them does. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on personal growth and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.